Alright, here I'm working on a 2020 Chrysler Pacifica and I'm doing the spark plugs. I'm start off with the back ones. They're super easy to get to. They're just 3 10 millimeters. And there's nothing much else with those. It's pretty self-explanatory. You take off this cover, 2 10 millimeters. And the hard part is doing the ones under the intake. I replaced these because we changed these without autolites. And it blew the spark plug. It blew 2 out of the 6. As you can see, so try not to use autolites. Use the original champions and you won't have any problems. You can see they're severely damaged after like 1 month of usage. So you got a little clip right there. You gotta take off this boot, and then you got a little sensor back here. All right, it has a clip and it has a connection to the sensor right there on that whole housing. So once you take that off, you can kind of move it around. And you kind of have to finagle it out. Eventually, you'll just get it. It'll just come out. So just play around with it a little bit. And in the back, it has a little rubber connection. Right there, you see that? So you also want to pop that off. And it's just pops on there. All right, and then you have this connection for the purge valve. And I kind of just disconnect it and push it all to the back. It's pretty easy. It's all plastic lines, so try to be gentle with it. All right, as you can see, it just kind of all moves back. But try not to pinch any of those plastic lines. All right, and then you have all your bolts right there. I believe there's like 8 of them, whereas before it used to be 7, I think. So there's 1, 2. All right, another plastic line. Then you have a little red clip right there. Usually I could take them off with one hand. They're pretty easy to remove. And I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna have to do a voiceover on this because I can't record at work. So, all right. So, again, you just kind of push all that back off. As you can see, I have all this in the back, and there is one little connection right here that you want to remove too. All right, that's like a PCV valve or a PCV hose. You kind of have to like, it has a little tab, as you can see. So you disconnect it from here, and as you're pushing it back, you want to lift up on that tab back there, and it'll just kind of pull back. All right, like that. All right, and then you want to remove this little contraption. At first, I didn't know what it was. It has 3 10 millimeter bolts. I thought it was something like. At first, I thought it was something with the exhaust related, but then it had that big hose, so I thought maybe it was. I thought it was coolant related. But, so I just kind of removed the 3 bolts and kind of, again, I'm gonna have to manhandle it a little bit just to take it off. I think you're able to remove the hose. It has a little connection back there. You see that? So it has a little clip. But that hose connected to it, I think you're able to remove that. Usually I do it without removing the hose, but from here on out I'm going to do it with removing the hose. And the reason I didn't remove the hose was because I thought it was like a coolant connection. All right, so you have another sensor up there with the connection, and you have a couple bolts up down here. All right, 10 millimeter bolts, I think. So there's 2 right there. And I start removing the intake manifold bolts. I think they're all 8s. So yeah, I believe there's 8 of them now. All right. I chose to remove the throttle body just to make it easier for me. And then what I also do is I clean it from the back. So I like to do that sometimes, just for the customer, clean off the throttle body. And then you have a little connection right here for the wire that I like to remove because there's a bolt back here behind this little thing. And unfortunately, yeah, it broke. So just be careful. But I think there's like a bracket down here that's holding this whole intake to it. And what I believe you can do is you can just remove that bolt right there, and that's about it. So the one with that Torx All right, I removed the bolt, and that's all you had to do. There's more like, there's more bracket down there that you could remove if you want to, but you don't have to. All right. So as you can see, this bracket is still here, and I removed the bolts for those because I thought you had to remove it, but you actually don't. You don't have to remove it. You see that? I removed the bolt, but you didn't have to. So what I did was I kind of lifted up from the left side at an angle, and then I just kind of took it out at an angle, kind of like that. And like I said, those are the bolts that you take out. But you also want to push that bracket a little back, because the bracket gets in the way. All right, and then it's just regular 3 coils with 10mm bolts. And then here I am putting it back together. If you want to see that, you can skip it if you don't. I mean, all in all, I think the job pays about 2 hours and something, but you could do it like in 30 minutes. So here I am trying to put it back. And again, I'm gonna suggest you remove the hose because I don't think it's a coolant hose. So it just makes it easier and not damage that little part. So far I haven't damaged any, and I've been good. But remove the hose. I think it's just like an exhaust hose. So and I think these are like, they went to this style like in 2018, 2019, maybe 2020. The older ones, yeah, got down pretty quickly, but this one's a little more tedious because of that little EGR thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but here I am just putting everything back together. So hopefully that helps out someone, specifically what you have to do. I didn't really find any videos when I did this job, and exactly what you have to do, but it's not that hard to do. I mean, it's a little different, but it's pretty easy. It's you could tackle it on your own, honestly. It shouldn't take you more than an hour. So, and don't remember that little sensor in the back because I almost forgot it. All right, so let's see. Put that back together. You push all your hoses back, and again, just be gentle with everything because it is plastic. Most of those lines are plastic. All right, that plastic hose, route it back into its little spots, to its little clips. All in all, when you break it down, it's not a lot. They're pretty easy. All right, and I believe I put this one under it. I'll put it on top, and you're supposed to route it under so it can clip back, so you can see. And just double check everything. I put my bolts back there, and that bracket, my sensor, the 2 bolts in the front, so you can see 10mm. So I hope that helps out anyone trying to tackle this job. It's not an exact video on how to do it perfectly because I don't even have torque specs. I just kind of snug everything up, common sense. Don't go crazy on it. So I apologize about that, but hopefully that helps out someone.